He's a doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dovec, and she's a dietitian.
Hey, I'm Hannah Schuyler, and together we are the Weight Loss Collab. Oh, it's so good to be back. So good to be back and in person together. Like, so much more legit.
We are legit. We have a podcast studio now, and you can watch us. We are recording the actual visual video with this. And what a perfect episode to do this with, because we have Dr. Irene Tower here in our new podcast studio.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about, and a lot's been going on in the last 3 months since we actually published a podcast.
We'll talk about that. It's fine.
It's fine, but we're back, and we're going to be bringing them to you weekly, or at least every other week.
Yeah, there we go. We're coming in.
Already over problem.
We may have a problem with overcommitment here.
A little bit, and that's what we've been doing here, building all this.
Basically. So we've been working so hard getting the Surgical Institute of Central Florida up off the ground, and we had an amazing grand opening, and it's a lot going on.
Yeah, and Irene's here. You just moved across the country, literally.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
It's so great.
Yeah, I love it. It was
So you're in California.
Yeah.
For how many years were you there?
14 years. I was there since 2011.
My God.
Yeah. Went there for training, stayed there, and just kind of kept working and got really busy. And it was good. It was a great experience, but I've always kind of wanted to start my own thing.
Yeah, no. And it's so cool to watch you have like this autonomy, to have like your own brand and your voice, and just kind of come and step out into the forefront of what's going on
It
here.
feels good. It feels really good.
and like from your best friend from residency.
Well, yes. So that story. So let's talk about this whole thing. So it's very confusing, and it's kind of a long story, but we were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I grew up outside of Pittsburgh in West Virginia. And you had already been there. You were ahead of me. You were my senior resident.
Yeah, and I felt totally out of place. I remember when I got someone told me I had to move to Pittsburgh. I was like, what?
It's a big It's like looking it up on the hottest.
Meanwhile, like being in the suburb of a suburb of a suburb of Pittsburgh, I'm like, I made it to the big leagues. I was super excited to move to Pittsburgh. And it was like a dream come true. And you had already been there for a couple of years before that. And I batched at a different program in Pittsburgh. And then, long story, but that one dissolved. And then I ultimately was joining your program at Allegheny General Hospital.
Yeah.
And you had already been there. And I remember the first day, it was like kind of this like off cycle, this rando like Tuesday night. And it was a changing of the shift between day team and night team. So we would work 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Those were the two shifts. Yeah. And you would just cover that. And you were nights and I was days. So you were running the night and you were running the sign outs of this room. I remember the first time I saw you, and your hair was really short. That was like back in that era. Irene has had many different colors, hairstyles, lengths. Do you remember this?
Of course. I can't ever make up my mind what I want.
And you had this really cool short hair. You were pregnant with Gabriel at the time.
Okay. Yes. Was I pregnant?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were just found out you were pregnant.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. And then I was just like, who is this? And then I got to know you. And then I was like, do you want to go out to eat? Want to do a double date with my husband and your husband? And we became very fast friends thereafter. We weren't married. Oh, yeah, you're right. So it wasn't, we were about to get married. We were planning our wedding. We engaged at this point.
Yes. And I had just got married and I was pregnant with Gabe. Okay. It makes sense.
Yeah.
That is so long ago.
I know. And then we just became very, very good friends. There's not a lot of people that like look like us or act like us in a surgical residency.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time. We were at so much fun on your back deck, looking over the skyline of Pittsburgh. To me, that was heaven. I love that house of yours.
Well, I was always obsessed. We always had this like warehousey house, and we'd always go there and we'd study, and we just like.
I know. I I lived first in an abandoned cork factory that they turned into these very crazy laws. And then I moved into an old schoolhouse built in the 1800s. And I lived in the library. And this thing was stunning.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It was so cool. I lived in one huge room. Yeah, it was really neat. But anyway, we used to have parties and all kinds of fun. And you bring these huge sushi platters, like always the generous and cool friends. And just remember, like, also, like, kind of being jealous of you and like your surgical skills. I told you this the other day, but there was this attending, Dr. Elon Jeremitsky, who told me one day, like, oh, is Irene on call? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, I want to operate with her. I'm like, what about me? He's like, Irene's the best. Oh my God. Yep. But anyway, everyone said it. She has intuitive skills. She's just really, really good. So even back then, she was like the surgeon.
Creme de la creme.
She was the creme de la creme. Oh, so yeah, it was amazing. So then you go off to LA, and that was like the worst, like hardest, like most grieving time. I was left behind in Pittsburgh, and it was just so sad. It was the infinite sad.
Rude. How dare you?
I know. Why'd you move on with your life without me? I wasn't ready for you to do that. Yes.
But here we are. Now, here we are. Fast forward, we're 14 years.
My gosh, we always talked about this. He's like, and it's just good. It would be such a good pairing.
It is. So yes, obviously we're doing weight loss. We do bariatric surgery. And sometimes, and what we're going to talk about today, is patients might have a little bit of skin or they just want to kind of complete their transformation. So we're going to dive into it, like exactly what you do and why you like that aspect of medicine and like, yeah, how you got into it, all of that. So how did you make that decision to kind of transition from being a board certified general surgeon and then ultimately deciding I want to go off and do cosmetics?
I've always really wanted to. Initially when I fell in love with surgery, it was, yeah, I loved everything about working with my hands, but deep down, I'm more of an artist. And so for me, like being able to see a transformation, I mean, it's one thing to take out an appendix and, put them together and great, they're healed and they go home. But this is different, it's something that you really have control of, what you're creating. And to me, I just loved that aspect of it. So it was always meant for me. Like it was always where I was going to end up. I just didn't know exactly how I would get there. And that's like the route that I took.
Oh, I know. And Hannah, you've seen her work.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, did a bunch of work on the website and stuff like that. So I was like literally getting photos and all of this stuff. And I was just like jaw dropping. I was just like, what? I would literally, like, my husband would be working on his computer. I'd be on mine. I'm like, babe, look at this, like, naked woman on the computer, And he's like, okay, why are you, like, he was laughing at me. It's like, she does such great work. So it's like, and then I see other people, because then, of course, once you see one person, more people come up, and I'm like, not as good. Like, no.
Yeah,
This is the best.
you're the best.
Yeah.
You are the best. I appreciate it. Even here, you were there. I'm like, all right, I should probably get these boobs fixed. Now I'm like, Harry, I'm going to go over to California. I've always been thinking about the logistics of the plane ride, and I'll do all that. And now, well, here we are. The joys of being a woman. We'll talk about the mommy makeover too. Yeah, how that all goes. What?
I feel like that is like one of your favorite things to do. So why don't we just talk about the mom makeover then? Yeah, like tell us about it.
Well, I mean, I'm a mom, now moms, right? And we all really realize like the changes our bodies go through. And some people it's worse than others. And it's just frustrating. And just because you have a child doesn't mean you have to like give up on your body, and just kind of just accept it. I feel like so many people feel defeated because the way they look, and it really affects people's mood and overall like mental status. It can be kind of depressing not to feel good about your body. So I feel like women in general, and they sometimes they feel like they're not worthy of it, and so they feel guilty. Like, should I be doing this? I have kids. Like, you always want to put your kids first, and you always kind of put yourself last. And so I really feel like I like embracing them. I'd be like, this is good. You need to take care of yourself. Be a good mom. You have to like, do some self-care. You have to really like do all of that. So to see women go from just being even uncomfortable getting their clothes off in front of their husbands to like wanting to rip off their clothes. They feel great. That's just an amazing feeling. Like when they come in for their 3 month and they can't stop bawling because how happy they are, and how you've changed their life. And to me, it's like there's nothing that feels that good.
That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah. And you probably experience it too, right? Like you get tears.
Yeah.
And it's like, it makes me cry. And when I was in there crying, and I'm just like,
Yeah. I mean, I can feel your emotion, and we feel that we too. Like when people ask us, like, why did you pick this? Like, why wouldn't you? Like, I don't like, I don't want to give bad news all day. Like, and there is something to be said. It might sound superficial. This is all for vanity. But that is I think the way you think and your quality of life and just your confidence, your mojo is so exceedingly underestimated in the way that you perform in the rest of your life. Like you do actually show up as a better mom if you feel better about yourself.
100%. The mental state is really so tied into how we feel about ourselves,
Absolutely. Yeah. And just I think there can be physical discomfort with it too. Like if you have excess skin going on, you have sagging breasts that you can't buy a bra that fits well. I mean, things like that just also it's both. It can be uncomfortable.
For sure. There's a major cosmetic, but there is a functional part to it too. And especially when it comes more to the weight loss patients. I mean, their skin, amounts of skin that some of them have, it really does affect their quality of life. You see the way their clothes fit, they get rashes. We're in Florida. It's freaking hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. Yeah. And so it becomes, something that it's impossible to deal with on every day, and it gets frustrating. And I've heard some patients say, gosh, sometimes I liked my bigger body because it was less cumbersome.
Right.
So you want to get them over that because obviously they feel better, obviously their health is so much better. So now we just got to get them feeling better about themselves because the skin is just another problem. Being overweight was one thing, but you still didn't love your body then. They still don't love their body afterwards. Yeah, because of all the smooth skin.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's I always feel like our part is running a marathon, except for you only run 26 of the 26.2. It's why wouldn't you finish it? Right there. Just go see Dr. Tower, go to Body by Beauty, and just get there. So what is a mommy makeover?
Mommy makeover is basically any breast and tummy combination, right? Because that's what's most affected by a woman's body when she has kids. The breastfeeding can stretch out your breasts. They start to hang. Maybe they enlarge. Maybe they lose volume. There's different things, right? Everyone's different. But normally, it could be any breast procedure that restores the breast for you, whether that's just doing a lift, whether that's getting an implant and a lift. And then that's combined with some type of tummy procedure. So with pregnancies, you're definitely going to see separation of muscles. There's that diastasis recti is what we call it. And there's usually some sagging skin. And that's everybody. But I would say majority of people will get some kind of, post-pregnancy body in terms of laxity or muscle weakness. And some of those things won't correct on their own, especially if there's a lot of stretch marks, if you've had multiple pregnancies, especially if you've had twins or more.
Right.
And those, it's just really hard to work out. I don't even know. How's
J-Law as a girl? He's the one that's never had any work done, right? Last J-Law. Okay.
So, so that could be a tummy tuck. It could be some lipo. It could be a mini tuck, so there's different combinations. So one mommy makeover may be very different from someone else's. They're very much customized to fit the person.
Yeah. Which I feel is everything that you do. Yes. You're never just going to go in and be like, you're all getting the same thing. Because that doesn't make sense.
Everyone has a different idea of what they want their body to look like. Obviously, you have to set expectations of what is possible, right? But from that realm, some people don't want what someone else wants, So someone's ideal aesthetic isn't going to be someone else's, and it's not it's not for me to put my ideal aesthetic out there. It's for me to try to create your own ideal aesthetic for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I love that, and that's why the consultation I think is so imperative.
Yeah.
And I know right now you're actually doing free consults for a small time period of time.
Yep. Yeah, we'll be doing some free consultations.
Wow. And then you have been hustling out here, setting up the actual physical location of the office in person. We're virtual with our stuff, but yours, just like you said, I mean, this is custom. So you need to come in and tell us, like, what can they expect? Because a lot of people, maybe our patients, feel embarrassed, like apprehensive, like anxious, like, I don't know. Do I want to go in there and do I get this trip down? Like, what's it like?
It can be very, people have anxiety when they come and see me, but I hope that I try to make them feel very comfortable. Like, nobody likes to take their clothes off for other people, right? And especially when you're insecure about your body. I get it. I 100% agree. I try to avoid any type of nakedness for too long, right? So I'll take my measurements, do what I need to do, point out a couple things. I try not to make someone just stand there without clothes on. We do give you a robe, put that on. We'll do our exam, and then we'll sit there and talk. And I try to make it as comfortable as possible for them. And usually by the end, we're both kind of laughing and having a good time. But and people feel a little bit better. But I get it. I wouldn't want to do it, but yeah, no, it's just part of the process, and it has to be done. And I hope I make people feel comfortable when they come in.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure. Yeah. Probably you want to look right now. Yeah, right. Oh my God, rolling up here. I beat. Yeah.
You're not shy. I don't really know your words, right?
Well, there is that. Yeah. So, okay. So there's the mommy makeovers. And then you had talked a little bit about the tummy aspect. And you actually have something that you've named after yourself because you've done it so many times and it's so good. The Tower Tuck. Tower Tuck. What does that entail? Because you said there's many different types. What exactly is the Tower Tuck?
Well, and when I started doing a lot of tummy tucks, and I did a lot of tummy tucks, you start to see like what works and what doesn't. And one of the biggest things was, and maybe it was the patients I was getting, but it was hard to create a nice contour unless you started the tummy tuck from the back. And the reason is you would get to the sides or the ends of the incisions, and then you would find yourself with these dog ears or extra skin. Because when you're removing skin, it doesn't always like come together so perfectly. You end up getting like distortions and extra skin. And then you start chasing these dog ears with what we say. So you start taking more and more and more and more skin. And when you're doing it from the front, you don't have control over where the incision goes. If you plan ahead, you're like, okay, the incision's going to be longer, but it's going to be perfectly placed. You will not have any dog ears, and you'll get a lateral thigh lift and a little bit of a gluteal lift out of it. It's pretty impressive, like what you can get with this tower tug, right? So because we're starting the incision from the back, which means it's a little bit longer, but it's always perfectly placed. So it's placed right along the underwear line. You get a lateral thigh lift out of it, and then you never have to worry about having some, skin issues in terms of the dog ears or contour irregularities.
Wow. I mean, brilliant and simplistic. And I mean, who doesn't want a perfect result? Right? I mean, I can't try to do this. All right. Yeah. Why doesn't everybody do it that way? That
one needs it. I mean, there are some patients that can get away with just doing a tummy tuck from the front. It's usually a little bit less skin, but if you have abundance of skin, you just might as well, especially if there's excessive laxity. There's even some patients that may have been told they need a body lift that could get away with just doing the tower tuck because it really does take care of so much extra skin.
So do you do like 360?
There is. So you could do a 360, so you can connect it in the back. Tower tuck comes close, and then some people you do have to end up connecting in the back because of the skin laxity, and I'll connect it. But it just depends on the patient. Again, it always kind of, some days you're in the OR and you just make that call and you have to connect it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. So specifically about our patients and laxity and the loose skin and this sort of thing, people ask all the time, like, when is a good time to have my consults? When would you say on their weight loss journey, they should kind of start that conversation with you?
I think you've got to find a place where you are stable with your weight. So you definitely don't want to be still losing weight. If you're still losing a little bit, and you want to get the conversation started and you're within 10, 15, 20 pounds of your goal weight, you can come see me. Come see me. We can get that started. You just want to see what it would take if you want to kind of get an idea of what you want to do and what that would entail. That's a great time. And then I would say get to your goal weight if that's what you want to do. And then try to be stable for about 3 to even 6 months. Okay. And you want your nutrition to be optimal. So obviously you guys talk about nutrition a lot, but for me, I just push the protein and any vitamins. And especially if they come to me and they seem really depleted, then, start them on some vitamins and protein.
Do you recommend collagen for people? Like,
So collagen does that much. No. How do you feel about that?
I'm kind of the same. Like the research is super mixed, I feel like. And it's like, I'm like, you know what? If you want to take it, go for it. Take it in addition to your regular protein goals. Like it's like an add-on kind of thing. And if it makes you feel better, then by all means do it. And if not, like, don't waste your money.
Yeah.
That's how we feel about probiotics too.
I haven't seen that much of a difference.
Yeah.
He seemed like it would in terms of wound healing. But
yeah. And this is what I love the most about you coming here. We really pride ourselves in being comprehensive. We have Hannah, a registered dietitian. This is a luxury, especially for a private practice. Like most will kind of cut corners when it comes to the resources of a dietitian. We work with a therapist who helps us with our Project Reset, and it's just this ongoing journey. But what I love is you are the missing piece for me and my entire career. Doing this for 12 years, to have somebody that, yes, you're going to do it, but we also have Hannah here to kind of help through that recovery. It all just kind of comes full circle, that she can help you with dietitian needs. And that's really rare when you're going to that we work hand in hand and we're in the same exact building. Our offices are like next door. Yeah, right here through the wall next door.
it's so helpful because this is something that people need to sustain. This isn't just a lot of people say, oh, cosmetic surgery is a shortcut. Really, it's not. Like if you need to have it, you feel great, but you have to maintain it. And that's where, the nutrition comes in, lifestyle, exercise, all those things are really important. And, I talk to my patients all about that. Some of them are like, write me on a workout program. I will do it. I'll do it for you. I hear you.
Well, you love to work out.
Yeah, I do.
What are you currently doing for your workouts? Tell them about your history of being a fitness fanatic.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. I've always liked to work out. I feel like for me, it's kind of mental. Yeah, I feel like it helps me just kind of, I don't know, get clear head. Just clear my head, and I don't have to really think about much when I'm working out. But I like lifting weights. I feel like, especially the older we get, and women really should start doing some type of resistance training. It's good for your bones. It's good for overall muscle retention, which is good for your metabolism because your metabolism starts to taint. So when I'm talking to my moms specifically, I was like, stop doing the cardio. Like you're killing yourself with cardio. You're just burning calories like you're about to go eat. Okay. It's not getting you any long-term benefit. You need to start picking up some weights, do some resistance training, put some muscle on, and it's gonna help you in the long run, right? People are like, I run all the time, I do all this cardio, and I still look flabby. Yeah, because you're not putting any muscle on, So it just, I think, for overall health, it's important. It's great. I mean, it's great for your heart. You should do it. But you got to do a little resistance training.
Balance a bit. Yeah.
And it comes same thing. People get BBLs, they get fat injected into their butt. How do I keep this? You got to do some squats. You got to work out too, or else you're just gonna look like a flabby Mex in a couple of years. Like, yeah, you still got to work out. And yeah, I see people at the gym that have BBLs all the time, but they're working out still. So it's like good for them. They look great.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. For sure. And then, boy, there's a lot of other parts of the body we got to get to. So, yeah. So you talked a little bit about, so we talked about breasts. You talked about lifts. What does a patient who's lost weight, what did they typically need for the breast?
Usually I'll see volume loss.
Okay.
So with volume loss, it's usually an implant. I like implants better than I like fat grafting. That fat grafting is also coming up as being a popular option that people are asking me about. But the retention of that fat is not very good. And the overall appearance is not going to be the same as an implant, which gives you a nice shape, and it's a set volume that you're getting, and you're not going to lose it, right? So usually an implant and usually a lift. So it's usually the combination of the two. Some women, still have breast tissue. If you still have breast tissue and you don't really want an implant, you don't need it. We can just do a good lift.
Sure.
And some need a little reduction. Some are still have big breasts, to eat with weight loss. And so you could do a reduction lift. So there's a lot of different options. And if they don't have sagging, they're the lucky ones and they just lost volume, then you just need an implant, and that's a really easy fix.
Yeah. How long does it take you to do a breast implant?
Easy, like 20, 30 minutes. Usually you're in and out within the hour.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. I didn't really even know that myself. That I thought it was a lot more complicated to try to get in the right planes, to get it to sit, but it sounds like
It's not really that different from patient to patient. There are some unique instances where maybe it's a little bit more challenging, but overall, it's probably one of the easier things.
Like you and sleep.
I know.
Yeah, it's just very comfortable. Just go in and it's maybe a little bit different, but like just sell the same. She's telling me I could do a sleeve before.
You 100% could. I joke all the time. I learned how to do a sleeve in kindergarten. It's just like cutting out a pattern. You put a sizing tube in and then you just kind of cast in it. You pull it out. I'm like, wow, I went to school 14 years for that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there you have it. So, anything else, if you didn't need to know anything else, no, there's just a couple of structures and around the stomach.
Don't hit that.
Don't hit that. Don't touch anybody else. That splenic artery that curves right behind it. Yeah. But you learn all that. So, okay. So we talked about breast. We talked about abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah, what would you say is the next big
Arms.
Yes.
It's that wings. I call it neighbor arms.
Yeah, bat wings is probably, or the I don't know, the wave. They always do the wave away at me so they can like show me how their arm moves.
I know, but who does this in real life? Like, how are you doing it? And like waving like this with your skin like moving? No, I might be on a boat.
It's a boat wave.
That's a boat wave.
Yeah, Forrest Gump. Yeah, exactly.
That's what you always say. I don't know. That's a good one. That gift that Miranda.
I know, such a millennial. I send too many gifts.
She loves gifts. They're always right on Jenny.
And he like jumps into the water. I think he's when he's on the shrimp boats. He's visiting Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. He's waving at Lieutenant Dan. That's what she always sends me. Like, you out there? Hey, that's me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry, we got distracted. So yes, the arms.
The arms.
It's the skin there. I know that really bothers people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bothersome because they don't fit in their clothing. How they're smaller everywhere and they're still trying to put their arm through, but they've got all this extra skin.
Yeah.
And it's hot here. Like you want to put a tank top on.
Yeah.
Walk around, without sleeves and they just feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Skin.
I've always carried excess weight in my arms. It's just like one place that I hold it. And it's so annoying when you go to buy a shirt and it like fits great, but you can't pull the sleeve up all the way. And it's like, anything that has like a tight on it, I don't buy it.
It's a lot of frustration, but I like to combine it with the breast, especially if you need a breast lift.
Okay.
Because normally in weight loss patients, there's also axillary skin that's loose. And so you can connect the arm incision to the breast and get rid of some axillary skin at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So it's a really good combination. So if you have hanging breasts and you have the arm, you usually just connect the two in a nice seamless like incision. And so it goes well together to do the arms and breast.
What is this incision like? Because this seems to be the dreaded incision that people like by trading one thing for another on.
Yeah, I've never, ever had anyone tell me I wish I had my old skin back because I hate my incision. Never.
Yeah.
No. They are so happy with their arm. They can fit in clothes. And that incision with time goes away really nicely. I mean, it's different, but usually by 1 year, it's pretty minimal. And now we have so many treatments for scars, and then you can start fairly early. And, usually it's not as bad as, people would anticipate it being.
Yeah. Plus, again, like, just like who's waving like that? Like, who's walking around with both arms up on the top? It's like, yeah, it's the under that arm. Obviously there will be times that it's up, but yeah, it's interesting about hidden under the arm.
What do you think are some of the best things to do for the scar?
Laser treatments are great, so you can start those fairly early. Laser treatments, there's really good scar creams, and then just silicone tape. Silicone tape is one of my favorite things to use on an incision. So I'll have my patients use the scar cream first and then put the silicone tape on top so that scar cream doesn't rub off. It's staying on there really well, and the silicone tape helps to flatten the scar and helps in the pigment too.
Oh, very cool.
Pretty easy. It was
That's so easy.
So does that work for all scars?
All scars.
All scars.
It's better to start treating early once a scar may get a little bit more advanced and mature. It's a little bit harder to treat. But there's always scar revisions too, and I do a lot of those. If you need a scar revision, sometimes things heal better when there's less of an inflammatory response. So let's say you do a huge mind makeover, and there's cuts everywhere, right? And maybe one area didn't heal as nice, and then you're like, why is it going to heal better if you cut it out and do it again? Well, because there's just less going on. Yeah, there's not all this lipo, all this, and so your body will just have a little area to heal. So usually when you do a scar revisions heal really nicely because it's such a smaller area. It's controlled. There's less trauma to the tissue overall. So, that's another option for patients that maybe didn't have a great outcome.
That's awesome. And you mentioned lipo. I know our patients, they lose a lot of that volume, you said. And so sometimes like lipo alone is not going to cover it.
No, it's not a fat problem anymore, right? It's not fatty tissue. It's a skin problem. I mean, I still like to combine some liposuction to help create, shape and contour to the body if it's necessary. Some patients have really dropped down so low that they don't need it, right? But if there's still some areas and weight loss is weird, right? It's never even on the real place, right? Like you could lose everything in your legs and still have some up in your flanks or something, Yeah, that's weird. Like I'm at my ideal body weight, but I still have weird pockets of fat. That's where liposuction comes in, and it's very useful. Is because our bodies don't always respond to weight loss like we want them to, right? So it's it helps to be able to kind of have something for us to create a little bit better shape. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's the recovery like for, I guess it varies by these procedures and
Varies. And I say, do as much as you think you can recover from. And we talk about that. It's how do we split these up? How do we make this to where you don't feel completely traumatized, right? Because you can't do everything at once. Your body's just, it reaches its limits. It's going to have a good experience and heal well if you give it, a, a surgical amount that it can handle, right? There's only so much. And some people want their arms, their breasts, their tummy. It's just too much. Right? It's going to be a miserable way to heal. You'll probably have poor results because it is only so much your body can heal. And something's going to give. And you're probably going to have wound openings. You're probably going to have a problem. So it's always good to try to recognize if you have a lot of skin and you have it in multiple areas, you're probably looking at least 2 or 3 procedures.
Got it. So 2 or 3 different times you come in and you go for it.
Yeah.
And then you decide when they're ready for that next one. And it's just kind of like a journey with you as well.
It's a journey. And it can be, maybe you're a one-timer. Maybe it's just that, breast and tummy. But some people maybe arms and breasts, and then tummy and back, and then thighs. And so it can be over a year. And you usually want to wait at least 3 months between these procedures. And I think 6 months is better.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. So you talked a little bit about BBLs. And I mean, are those still are people still doing that a lot? Do you feel like, or are they kind of off trend now?
I think the trend is changing. I mean, it was make it as big as possible.
Yeah.
As bigger than around. And people are realizing, it doesn't look good, especially if they have those little skinny legs and it might look awkward. And so I think the trend is fill in my hip dips or, give me a little fullness, but, don't overdo it. I hear that a lot. It's don't give me too much. Don't give me too much. And so people are going with very conservative BBLs. Which I like. I think they look really good.
Yeah.
And I think you wouldn't even know if they were walking down the street that they had it, but it just kind of fills in some areas that they're maybe struggling with. And I like to do it on people who are already active. I think it looks better, people that, already have some leg and stuff, it doesn't look as awkward when you fill up their butt. So, I think though, it's just another one that weight loss patients come to me with. Because again, like I said, the weight loss doesn't come out where you need to. And someone's like, God, I used to have a butt, I never lost all this weight and I don't have a butt anymore.
I know my tailbone hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, we get that all the time. We call it an NSV, but I don't know if it's a victory, non-scale victory. It's a skinny girl problem, skinny boy problem. Your coccyx, your bones. That's early as there's no padding. It's man, I'm sitting right on this hard bone.
Yeah, but nobody wants that now. Nobody wants to retain some of that butt.
Yeah.
You don't have control over that. But that's why it's nice to do a little lipo and put it in the butt, and it really looks good, especially for weight loss. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many different things. And then of course there's face and ass and all of that. And so like what do you do in that zone?
A lot of it's volume loss there too, and so fat grafting is really great in the face. It's very natural. It's the best filler that we can use for the face, right? Fillers are great, and we do that as well. But I think when you use your own fat, you have a little bit more control over the way it looks. You're not going to get nodules or complications like that. It looks very nice and natural, and you're just replacing what you've lost. So it doesn't look overdone.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you get the fat from?
Waist, tummy, anywhere, So fat can come from anywhere, any other part of your body, and you could graft it. They can't come from someone else. It have from your body.
Okay.
I know there's always
How donate like how much do you use?
It's very small. You actually fill it in 1 cc syringes. The way you treat that for the face a little bit different than fat that you'd put in your butt. So the fat that you put in your butt is you remove it and then you re-inject it. Here we remove it, we spin it down, we get like all the extra stuff out of it until it becomes like almost like a paste. And it almost becomes like the consistency of a filler. So it's very concentrated, very smooth. There's no lumps or bumps in it. And then we use that to fix our face.
Getting less. I just decided I didn't even know about this. So I don't know why. And that's the whole thing with aging too. Like we're talking about volume loss and we're talking about, about all of that. But with aging, it's just like your face is like melting off your skull like an ice cream cone, or maybe that's just me. What's happening?
100%. At the age of 35, we lose about 1 cc a year of volume from our face. So it's just a lot. So by the time you're at 45, it's like 10 syringes right there. You see. And then on top of that, you have bone loss. So you have bone loss. So that kind of makes your face start to look a little more sunken in too.
Oh my gosh. I'm at least starting from a good point. I have plenty of volume right now.
You enjoy your
God. Well, I just turned 35. So it's all downhill from here. Spiraling if that's about firing. My gosh. But I like the sounds of that.
Yeah.
Because I get fillers and the Botox, and we have our med spa now, which is super, super exciting. We have so many things. Like we don't even have time to tell you guys about, I know, the options that you have here. Well, we do have a few minutes to talk about the med spa, because I think that some of the things you mentioned, like we are doing that too. And I think that's so cool. Like, what are you most excited for as far as like that side of things?
I like for sure the lasers that we got. We got these amazing lasers from AMP, which are just, they're going to revolutionize how we treat skin. Yes, they're so amazing. Especially, again, I always go back to the weight loss patients because honestly, like they see such a change in the skin quality. They always say, you can come in, get a laser that literally will give you like new skin.
Wow.
So it like treats pigmentation, skin laxity, wrinkles, acne scars. So many things can be treated with these lasers. That's what I'm most excited about. You need to like zap my whole body.
And somehow with engineer, like able to identify, I said to zap yourself. You should have attempted to train to help you out, but if you got yourself, you're good. Yeah, your image. That's perfect. No, I'm so excited about this because I am a consumer of it too. Like I love it. I feel the same way. I don't like I'm feeling like I'm not myself, or like, I want to remain looking youthful and as much as I can control.
It's maintenance, I realize this, why are you being so vain? I'm just trying to maintain, you got to take care of yourself. There's sun everywhere that we're always trying to higher quality of sun. It's just like one of the main things here in Florida.
Gosh, yeah. Yeah, it's that's a lot.
I know. Well, speaking of Florida, and obviously you're like in the greater LA area, which is kind of a beauty mecca. And now you're bringing this expertise to Florida. And there are going to be people, we get patients from all over the country, even the world. We have people that will easily fly here. Tell us about the medical destination aspect, especially we have this hotel that's 10 steps away from the recovery room here. But what do you expect during that?
I think I mean, it's very accessible now, right? We do so many things online that we could do a virtual consultation. Well, for my field, it's important for me to meet up with the patient in person at some point. So normally the way it would work is we would do a virtual consult. And then if you decide to schedule, then a few days before your surgery date, we would meet in person and just make sure that the plan that we came up with is still the plan that we're going to bring forward with. And then usually, depending on what we're doing, it's usually about a 2-week time frame that I'd like to keep you around. I really love to see all my patients afterwards, make sure they're doing well. I mean, it's not one of these things I just want to boot you out the door, right? We really want to like pay attention to how your wound is healing. We want to make sure you're doing well. We want to make sure that, the drain and how it's doing and everything is going perfectly before, I send you away.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. And then they'll go away, and then Orlando's an awesome place to visit too. It's
Absolutely.
so easy to try out here.
It gets so easy here. The airport's really great. And then there's so much to do. I know you're not going to be doing it, but if you bring your family has a lot to do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's so many different things.
That is true. I mean, it's the travel mecca of the universe here, right? With Disney, it's very easy, guys. So all of you can come in and take advantage of, if you want the best of the best, honestly, why would you skimp out at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Like, I want to go here, my local guy, I don't know, I want to save like $1,000 or whatever it is. I don't know. Like, I don't get that. I would really research something like this. So if you are on the fence and you're listening to this podcast, like, look at her results. I mean, you've done thousands of surgeries. Thousands of results, and you have all of your results. And your Instagram is Tower Power MD.
Yes.
And you have so many followers and so much great stuff. You have a lot of educational content, transformational images, videos. You even do photo shoots with your patients that are pretty
That's my favorite thing.
Yes.
I love that. I mean, it's so cool to see patients like to come out of their skin and feel great about their bodies, and they get this photo shoot where half of them are like half naked and these.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. If you look on your website, like if anybody goes bodybybeauty.com, go on the website. Those are her patients. Those are not stock image. Those are those are her people that she then went and did a photo shoot with because you wanted to, and her results were so amazing. And yeah,
I feel good. I mean, I just love having that moment with them too. And I'll usually show off and do a couple pictures with them. And it's just a good time. Yeah.
So good. And your brand is the gold standard in cosmetic surgery. So you have these gold flakes strategically placed over their genitalia and private. And it looks, oh my God, go to our website, bodybybeauty.com. It is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing what you do. All of that. And actually yesterday, I just had this opportunity. I didn't even tell you about it yet. But what we want to do, I have gotten 5 patients that we are going to do a boudoir kind of a photo session with for free. If you have your surgery with Dr. Tower, they want to give that away to 5 lucky patients to do that. And this person is honestly the gold standard of boudoir photography in Orlando.
Oh, wow.
And she reached out to me yesterday and she asked, and I'm like, absolutely. Yeah, I'm just the perfect person for that. So
I know, I love my girl and she's so she's so good, right? Yeah. So it'd be great. Yeah.
To have a local one. So guys, rush to the door. And that's the great thing about your results are once their swelling and things like that goes away, the results are pretty instantaneous when they wake up. They can see that, wow, things are different.
Oh yeah. Even the first day, they're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Obviously there's a lot of swelling, bruising, that kind of stuff, but it's obvious right away. Yeah, that's what's amazing about it too. I get tears sometimes on the first day. I'm like, wait, you're not even healed. You can't cry yet.
Yeah, I know. And there's so many different types of patients you treat with different backstories and that sort of thing. But of course, just talking about our patients and the weight loss patient, bariatric patients who've lost a lot and have just fought like hell for their bodies. And in this journey, this is not the easy way out. This is such a hard thing. And then when they do get that, I feel like their gratitude is just another level of just seeing what they did. It's like the ultimate pride. It's so cool. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to watch that magic here physically in this space
Like we can do 360 filming of it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have so many cool things here. Got camera, this
I know.
Yeah.
We have a secret stuff coming for you guys. And we have an actual behind the scenes media company here. We're working with Light Society. No, you cannot steal them. I already have it that they can only work with a few of us. But anyway, they are right here recording us. I mean, we are just getting started talking about journals.
Yeah.
I mean, you taking this leap of faith and coming here and doing this and sharing this with my patients, our patients in this area and beyond.
Well, I mean, I'm grateful to you. I mean, you reached out to me a few times and you're just like, I need you here. I realized what is out. But now it's like, okay. Finally, I came out. Like, how many times did I plan to come out?
I'll tell you what, the universe abides because when you were going to come the first time and her husband, Nick, forgot his laptop. So he had to rush home and you're like, we missed our flight. We'll do it again. I was like, okay, that's okay. Actually, I said, thank God you didn't come in. I wasn't ready. It was still like I always joke. It was an idea that I had sketched on a napkin. It wasn't like this forms. No, I have a legit business plan. No, I got the money. Like we actually started building. You can now come down and walk through, even though it was still not quite done. You could see it. It's going to get done. And now it is. And you're here. I walk around. And I know we're just getting started, but like seeing your like little details, like I just like it's kind of creepy, but I just kind of look in your office and I'm like, she's stuff. I was like, look at that gold thing on your desk. I just like paused, know what was around. It was like after hours. I mean, it was like on a Sunday, and I'm like, she really is here. I'm really late. This is really happening. Like, I just can't even wait to see what happens. And I just can't wait for all of you to meet her. We're going to be doing also, now that we have this physical location, we always do our virtual support group. You are going to be a guest on that. That will be on Tuesday, April 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern via Zoom. We'll be sending out all the links. It's also on our website, bodybybariatrics.com. Under the events tab, you'll see the event for it. And we're going to talk live. People can ask questions. People have their cameras on. I love our support.
God, it's so good.
It's so active. People are so engaged.
That's great that you guys see that with your patients, honestly.
Yeah, but
We love it. I mean, the chat goes crazy. We've had the last couple, we've had like over 100 people on whenever we want. Right. And but people, I always say this over and over again, but it's like strangers do become friends. They do like meetups outside. But speaking of meetups, we will be doing in-person meetups here at the office. And I think we'll have one where you kind of talk to a group of people in person and that's going to come very, very soon too for you guys. Like, so if you're not quite ready for your consult, rent it for a limited time. Like, she's doing free consults. If you're even thinking about it, you got to come running out here because you're going to have to stop that because it's going to be a little bit overwhelming. I was telling you from a business standpoint, like you're going to get overwhelmed by that. But if you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that yet, come and learn more in person, get your questions answered both virtually on April 15th. And then also we'll do an in-person one very soon here in our conference room. And we wouldn't even have to go outside or take it to somewhere else if there's a lot. We'll have tons of chairs and
Yeah, everyone always has different, like especially with my field, everyone's got something different they want to address, questions about. It's more personal, so I think that'd be great. Yeah, yes, if they want to get more information, I'll sit down and chat.
yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. And then, we're going to have a whole nother episode on this med spa too, because there's also things for hair. We always talk about that.
I just had a hair treatment today.
Yeah. Tell me about those. Yeah, guys, and listen, if you're still here with us listening, you've got to lean in on this one.
Okay, hair loss is major, right? Weight loss patients have it, like people with thyroid problems, just getting older. Your hair is going to start thinning out, and it's traumatic. I've had some hair issues over the last couple of years, and it's traumatic. It really, I don't know, you feel like it just
like such an identity piece.
That's 100%. So we have a system, it's derived, it's from AMP, which is peptides. They're plant-based peptides that they've isolated that will help you regrow your hair when combined with the laser treatments. So the laser treatments help to open up the pores in your scalp. And so when you place the peptides on it, the exosomes, it will help them absorb. Oh, wow. And heal and start helping with hair growth and thickness and just the quality of your hair. And they have some amazing before and afters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I had the treatment today. It was completely painless. They basically, just, Usually they could treat the whole scalp if that's your issue, but they find the areas that maybe where you have most of your hair thinning. And they split the hair and treat the areas part by part. It took about 40 minutes or so, and it didn't hurt at all. And they send you home with a little care package so you can put the product on your scalp until you have your next treatment.
How many treatments? I don't see Japan.
I think they said it depends, but usually at least 3 to 4.
Okay. Oh, that is so exciting. So that's our. I asked one question. We were going to, but now we have a real solution because we always talk about eat more protein, biotin,
Like only so much you can do to prevent the hair loss.
You really have to treat the scalp. It's so important, and I've really learned that recently. Is like the scalp health has so much to do with your hair.
And I do always tell people, I'm like, ask your hairdresser too, because they like are so much more intimate with your head than anybody else. But like, this is obviously like the next level of everything.
Yeah, that is so exciting. We were gonna call the podcast, which we will do when the hair ain't there, and we're gonna give a legit solution. I mean, maybe we go live. We'll drag these mics into the room, and we'll just look at the tree, see what it's like.
Yeah. You'll have to give us your results for it too.
Wow. Did you take pictures?
I did. Okay, sorry.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see. Oh my gosh, there's so many good things.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be so amazing. So,
okay, so think all the ways to find Irene.
All the ways to find Irene. We've got on Instagram, Tower Power MD and Dr. Body by Beauty. Yes, correct. Okay, so those are the 2 Instagrams.
Dr. Body by Beauty Instagram is that what the name of it is?
Yeah, it's just before
and after. It's
no other content. Yeah.
Yep. So if you want to see before and afters, it's Dr. Dr. Body by Beauty. So check that one out. And then, of course, your website, bodybybeauty.com. If you are interested in a consultation, go on there. There's a form on there that links directly. Someone will get your information and reach out to you directly, very hands-on, and get you started with that consultation as soon as possible. And you can come see her in person.
I know. Our beautiful office. You have to come see the office. And the way she set up her rooms, oh my gosh, that's even like the exam chairs. Of course, they're like these bougie, like leather. Yeah. That you're not going to feel like, oh, there's the traditional, like, yucky, bulky, OBGYN table. Ooh. Yeah, you're not going to get triggered when you're going to come in. You have to feel zen. We're going to be piping in smells and sounds. And you have the lobby. It's like there's all these lotions and things around. I'm like, oh, this is different. So different. I love it. I know.
It does not feel like the medical office.
So that's exactly the point. We're in the office actually right now. See, this is, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Love it. And then otherwise, of course, to find us on Instagram at the Weight Loss Collab, at Body by Bariatrics, at Dr. Dovec, at hannahskyler.rd, our website, bodybybariatrics.com. So many different ways. If you can't find us, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways.
Yeah, we're all over the place. But we would love to connect with you. We hope to see you soon. Yeah, I hope to see you at that support group.
And I'd love to be back, guys.
Oh, it's a time.
Or anytime. Or 5. This is a sequel.
Yeah, good for the series for sure. Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks again for coming, and we'll see you all next time. Bye, guys. Bye.